This is the location of the former Jewish cemetery in Brzeziny in central Poland. As you can see from following the wall along here, the cemetery was rather large. This wall we have today is not the original wall. The wall that was here before, like many of the objects from the cemetery, is now gone, and now we'll have a walk in. Gate's locked, but never mind, just get over here. This cemetery has changed a great deal. There are very few stones here, as you'll see, but as we come in there are one or two, such as here. Unfortunately, I just can't read it. It's too worn. Now, what is unusual here is that this is not the level of the ground when this was used as a cemetery. The level we're at now was probably, you see the hill up there? This was a slope. This huge amount of earth, let's say for the moment, or sand really, has been removed. And whereas the gate and the wall is at the original level, further up here this was all removed. And this was removed because the sand here is such good quality for construction purposes that it was used for the construction not only of Brzeziny, but I suspect other towns as well. As people came here after the Second World War, construction materials from here were taken. Some of these stones weren't originally here. They were found somewhere and they were placed here. Oh, I need to point out though that many of the stones have been saved, they've been rescued, they're now in storage, and there is an idea of forming a lapidarium with them. The cemetery here goes back hundreds of years. The first Jews came here in the middle of the 16th century, worked mainly in the weaving business, and as did, for example, later immigrants, ethnic Germans, for example. At the beginning of the Second World War, Jews made up they were the largest population in Brzeziny. So we also had a German and a Polish ethnic groups as well. And so if we take Yiddish was the main language, but the lingua franca, of course, would have been Polish. This memorial here was put up, I think it's around 1990, I can't remember now, sometime round then, and this will show 1992. So it was put up on the initiative of the Union of Families from Brzeziny in Israel, and together with the town hall of the town. So in memory of the Brzeziny Jews buried in this cemetery. Now, the Nazis very quickly destroyed the cemetery. The synagogue here was burned down within the first couple of weeks of the occupation, and what was left of it was blown up in 1940. I'll walk up to the top of the hill here and you get a different view of it. Now, one thing I need to point out is, like many cemeteries around here, there are a group of volunteers which go out of their way using their own funds to actually to take care of cemeteries like this. And this may look very abandoned, but it's not completely overgrown, as I'm sure might well have been 35 years ago. Some of the other cemeteries, particularly the Protestant ones, where there are mainly Germans, that they would have been overgrown, what, only 5 or 6 years ago. So it shows you the level, the amount of sand that was removed. And here you can see the sand. I fell down last week, damaged my knee a bit. So that makes it a bit more difficult for me to climb. So you can see here what effect taking the sand had. I mentioned the Protestant cemetery, which you can see in a different video. There's the town of Brzeziny. Today, obviously, it's ethnic Poles only. The Jews were almost entirely murdered during the Second World War. Only a maximum of 300 might have survived, of a population around 6,800 at the beginning. And I'm not aware of people coming back in any numbers at all here after the war. And the Germans were either expelled or they left of their own accord, or fled, I should say, really. You know, another view of how much sand was taken. Now, locals tell me it was just for the building of the buildings here in Brzeziny, but I can't believe that all that sand went just to Brzeziny. It must have gone to other places. Brzeziny, okay, so it's near Łódź, and what is curious about it is that this town's much older than Łódź. Łódź is only really a couple hundred years old. But Łódź grew, whereas Brzeziny didn't. And in the First World War, November 1914, there were battles here, and the battles left the town in a state of destruction. And this clearly stopped development in the interwar period, and Łódź, which had already grown quite significantly in the second half of the 19th century, has become the second largest industrial centre in the Russian Empire, and one of the most important textile manufacturing locations in the world. The thing is that businesses went where the businesses already existed. There was a very large ghetto here, sorry, large by not like as big as Łódź or Warsaw, but by standards of most ghettos it was pretty large. And the ghetto was liquidated in May 1942. The Nazis took away the children, and older people were taken away to be murdered at Chełmno nad Nerem, marched to a railway station or taken on a horse and cart, and the other people, fit people, were taken to the Łódź ghetto, and it's those that survived. They came through via Łódź. So largely the reason for survival was that they were sent to camps, either to places in the Świętokrzyski region or sent to Auschwitz, and somehow managed to survive from Auschwitz in 1944. But at least there is a wall of sorts here now. Good, so if you found that of interest, then you might want to subscribe. Lots more films, videos I've done relating to Jewish history in Poland, indeed history of Poland in general, and other videos from other things related to history. Thank you for watching.